Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us on our live recording of this Block Talk podcast here on Facebook Gaming. I'm your host, See-Through. For those of you that don't know, I'm a Minecraft streamer here on Facebook, and I started this podcast to give mine and y'all's communities some additional content to listen to on the daily. Shortly, this podcast will be searchable on all podcast platforms and currently is on a lot of them. Today, we have an awesome Facebook Minecraft streamer all the way from Maryland. Everybody, welcome Mr. Dark Death. Say hi to everybody, Dark.
Hello there.
Hello, hello. Dark's been a creator here on Facebook and YouTube and other platforms for roughly 5 years across multiple platforms, which I just repeated myself. Dark, tell us a little bit about your journey, man, as a content creator. Like, how did you start out, and then up to now, man? Give us a little backstory.
Yeah, so when I started out was actually YouTube about almost 6 years ago, right before my son was born. I made it about 2 months on there before he was born, and was actually pretty successful considering the time. I got up to like 170 followers in a month.
Nice.
And I had to take a break, and the break ended up being about 5 years.
Nice.
Because the kiddo was born. That between doing army work on the road all the time, there just wasn't enough time to make the content. And also, the main content that I was doing was Diablo 3 builds, and they had just changed up their difficulty stuff. So I kind of had to twerk the theme of my channel when they did that, and it happened like right after I started getting, traction.
Yeah, I've noticed that because I think I have YouTube videos on my channel that date back to like almost 10 years ago, and I feel like it was so different back then as far as the ability to reach people. And I guess it's just due to so many people probably wanting to be a big YouTuber. There's probably so much just going on.
Well, I know, and it might be different now, but I know like back then, like the goal was to get 10 subscribers within your first month. If you could get like 10 subscribers in your first month, then you were doing like pretty good. And like I said, I got 170, so I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that was killing it, man.
But then the kiddo came, and priorities change, and didn't have the time. And
life happened. It happened.
And then COVID happened, and all of a sudden I had a lot more time to be at home and start, creating content again. So started doing streaming on Facebook, just because I could network a lot better with Facebook. I'm a computer guy. I work on servers and IT supporting a lot of that stuff. So I have a lot of, set it and then kind of forget it, wait for it to do its thing before I move on to the next step. So it gave me a lot of time to interact with other creators on Facebook, because at work YouTube was disabled. So that was kind of drove.
Yeah, they do that, jerks.
Well, yeah. Everybody was, remoting in for work, so it was eating up the bandwidth too much. But apparently, Facebook
COVID, man. Me and the old lady were talking about how much COVID's just messed everything up this morning. It's just, she's a very decorated teacher, but she hasn't actually been in the teacher spot for probably 8 years. But as of about 2 years ago, she started doing online tutoring. And she's been loving it, man. She does 8 hours a day. She's in there teaching, an elementary kid math and then a high school kid science. And it's a lot of fun. She really enjoys it. But she recently had an opportunity kind of jump in front of her because of COVID. So many teachers are out because of it.
Yeah.
And, these kids, they come to school, maybe, like kindergartner through third grade or whatever. They're supposed to be wearing a mask, but you're not going to be able to get a child for the most part to wear one. So, they're sick, They get the teacher sick, and then now like the entire state's in like a teacher emergency mode. And Yeah, it's rough, but at the same time, it's also given her the opportunity to maybe slide back into teaching again, which is she's super stoked about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good. It's silver linings, as much as we can have them in these times.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, to wrap up the last question, I streamed every single day for over half a year, playing nothing but Skyrim, building up a community here on Facebook, and then had to move to Maryland. Well, I didn't have to, but I made the choice to move to Maryland, which had to take a little break, and that sort of messed up all of my successes. So I'm kind of starting back over the last couple months.
Mm-hmm.
The Sandbox Kids has been great, as I can branch into Minecraft and still do some Skyrim stuff and make
Heck
a lot
yeah.
of friends. Great.
Awesome, man. So tell us, as a father, I'm not sure how many kids you got, if you just got one or a few, or tell us
Just the one.
just the one. Tell us a funny story you can recall where your kid and you were just like, he did something, and you were just like like you just lost it.
He's so nice all the time, like
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, he's very, very cute. He's half Vietnamese, half whatever I am, and I'm like, I'm sort of like a weird ginger hybrid thing. So who knows what he's gonna turn out like? I was hoping that he would get
alien.
I was hoping he'd get his mom's hair in my eyes, but he ended up getting my hair in his mom's eyes. So.
Steve said, in other words, he's not like you.
Yeah, well, he's got these really long eyelashes too, which just sort of adds to his cuteness factor. But the thing is that I'm 100% sure that he knows how adorable he is and how cute he is.
Right.
And he 100% uses that power for evil.
Yeah, he flaunts it for sure.
It's just like, hey, it's like, oh wow, you're like, he'll be flirting with people, and then like, because he knows that if he flirts with people, they'll give him stuff. So
he's got it all figured out then.
Got it all figured out already.
Has he ever done anything hilarious that you can recall? Something that's just stuck in your brain?
Trying to think, because he does a lot. That's stuck in my brain, and it's very, I don't know, what am I thinking here? There was something recently.
We can go on to the next one if you want. That's no worries.
He's got this weird voice. I'm trying to think of how he does it, but so he started like, all of our birthdays are about the same time. Like my wife's birthday is coming up at the beginning of next month. His is at the end of next month, and then mine's like 2 weeks after that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, right after Christmas. It's great.
Oh Jesus.
Not bank account.
So you just have your own holiday everybody's created. It's just celebration day. It's just knock them all out.
And he's just all like, I can't wait for cake. And and I'm like, it's like, yeah, you're gonna have some birthday cake, and you know what? It's like, on your mom's birthday, you can have cake then. And he's just like, cake. Like he's just...
That's so funny, man, because I can relate so good with that.
Yeah, and then and then the kicker. Oh, that's something that was kind of funny. So for Christmas, we got him a bunch of Legos, and luckily he happened to do the biggest one for last, which is this big, huge, giant red robot from the Marvel Eternals movie.
Oh, nice.
I think it's a Celestial, but for him it's just a big giant red robot. He hasn't seen the movie. And every package that he's opened up, he's just like super excited, super grateful, and then he opens up this one, and then he's just all like,
that's great.
And then he just falls over on top of it, and he's like, my mind is blown. He's just
right. What's funny about Christmas is I bought my son a bunch of Legos too, and anywhere from like little 100-piece, they were all Minecraft Legos, anywhere from like 100-piece one to like a couple like 5, 6, 700 piece ones. Which, by the way, guys, don't buy Legos for your kids, or you're going to be having an empty wallet. Legos are outrageous.
They are,
Holy
but you know what they
smokes!
don't do? They don't drop in value.
True. As long as you don't lose any of the pieces.
Yeah, and especially those Minecraft ones, because you know those colors are unique to the Minecraft sets. They don't exist in any other sets. So once those, it's doubtful that Minecraft will ever not be a Lego now. But
yeah, but I hate how inferior I am to Santa now, because I bought him all these cool Legos, and Santa got him a monster truck, and all the Legos just.
Well, he was into Legos from like really early. Like he could follow instructions when he was like 1.5. Like he was clicking Legos together, building them, tearing them apart, refollowing the instructions, and doing it. Like before he could even really talk that good. And then he started to get kind of lazy. Like, Daddy, can you build this? Or this is hard. Can you do this for me? And then he'd be like, Oh, hey Daddy, can you just build the whole thing for me?
Yep. I just want to take it apart when you're done.
Yeah, well, you just wanted to have the toy that it created,
right?
And so we had to kind of stop buying him Legos until I think earlier, late last year. He's like, I really want this Lego. And I'm like, well, are you gonna build the Lego? Because I'm not gonna build it for you. I'll get it for you if you promise to build it. It's like, I promise I'll build it. And now he's back into building Legos. So.
Oh yeah, Trap's talking about like the electronics and stuff you can get for like the motors and everything you can get for Legos now. That actually makes me want to really get involved in it. Big time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. So tell us about your new idea for your workout streams, man. Fill everybody in on what you got going on there.
Oh yeah. So anybody who's been a fan of mine for the last year knows that I'm a weird nerd who's into lots of just weird nerdy things. Anything weird or nerdy you can think of, I've probably done and mastered. And not a master anymore, but there was a point when like I devoted all of my focus into
1,000%.
1,000%.
And then you're just like, nah, I'm good. All right, I'm done with this one.
Yeah. So in high school, I played a lot of Dance Revolution, and a few years ago, my wife had actually bought me this really nice metal pad. Show it down there. For the people on the podcast. Sorry, you'll just have to imagine a really awesome metal dance pad.
Yeah, it's pretty much the arcade version, but without the arcade part.
Yeah. And so every once in a while, I'd get a wild hair and decide to stream it on Facebook. Be like, hey, everybody, this is something that I can do. I think is awesome, and maybe people will like it, and maybe they won't. And either way, I'm getting a good workout. But I noticed that for the next stream or two after I do like a Dance Revolution stream, the Facebook, my reach for that next video would be a quarter or a half of whatever it was before I did the DDR stream. So I was thinking, how can I stream DDR and keep myself motivated? Because if I commit to it on a social platform, then I'm much more likely to actually do the workout.
That makes so much sense too.
So I decided to make the Dark Death Evil workout channel, and it gets me up in the morning so that I can do that for about a half hour. I do the DDR. I'm going to do either DDR or Beat Saber, but right now it's DDR.
There you go.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then guided workouts using my extensive military career on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, I've caught a couple of them, and I'm like, man, he's doing a great job.
Dude, yesterday's my legs are toast. Like they.
Oh, I bet, man.
We did some squats, did some lunges, a few ab exercises, flutter kicks. I'm sure you all familiar with those. And,
yeah, I can what it does, seeing you on that mat doing push-ups and stuff, I was like, oh my God, this is giving me PTSD from boot camp. Because I remember a tiny story from boot camp. is, I don't know. You're in the Navy, right? Or Army?
No, I was in the Army for
Okay.
14 years, Army National Guard. I got out as a warrant officer even.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I probably could have stayed in for the full 20, but it just when you get good at your job, then everybody wants to use you for everything, and they were just trying to break me.
Yeah, just didn't want to
there
be
was
a
too much.
tool anymore.
Yeah, too much work to be done. Tired of getting used, and like I think they wanted me on the road over 270 days the year before I resigned, and then that doesn't include another exercise that was for my unit that was like 6 weeks long. So,
Wow.
and my
Yeah,
priorities,
you don't
if I
see
didn't
many
have a
warrant
kiddo,
officers. That's pretty cool, man.
if I didn't have a kiddo, then probably would have stayed in. But priorities definitely change once you got one of those.
Very true. You definitely don't want to miss. You want to have as much time as you can with them for sure.
Yeah. I see Traps talking about Supernatural. Yeah, I got Supernatural. It's kind of like Beat Saber. It's kind of like what I'm doing with my thing, except for they have like a voice coach to sort of keep you motivated while you're going through baseball bat stuff. But yeah, you
Hmm.
definitely can't stream that. All of the music on Supernatural is like
That's what
super.
stinks about Beat Saber.
Yeah.
I picked a song that I thought was specifically Beat Saber. I don't know if you've seen the one video that I uploaded of me doing it or not, but it was not like Skrillex or Lady Gaga or none of that. It happened. It was just one of their random Beat Saber volume this, and
Gotcha.
I was killing it, and I uploaded it, and I was like, "This is cool. People are gonna love this," and it got muted because of copyright, and I'm like, "Dude." And I see people stream this all over Twitch and everything else. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Kind of stinks.
Well, it's definitely hit or miss, and especially with Facebook. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Facebook tags, they've got this, library for you to choose music from to play on your streams. Like it's in their creator tools. It's specifically what it's used for. It's like, hey, are you afraid that you're going to play the wrong stuff?
Yeah.
Use our collection of music. And then you use that, and then you get flagged.
And then you get a flag from their own stuff, right? And it says this music is owned by Facebook. You're like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
Or well, no, just like I think they stopped paying for some of the licenses. Like I think the licenses had like a time limit on them, and
Mm-hmm.
they didn't take out the ones that they stopped paying the license for. So that's my theory. Yeah, but no, it's surprising how much Dance Dance Revolution I get away with.
Yeah.
There's only one song I think that's ever gotten me muted, and that's the Whistle song, which is unfortunate because it's like most of the DDR songs that I like to play. It's extremely dirty and
Right.
hilarious. But
Right.
yeah, it gets muted. So
That's awesome, man.
don't.
Well, it's cool to know that you're out there, like, trying to help people get fit, this, that, and the other thing. And that's awesome,
Trying
man.
to help them / trying to use them to motivate myself, but tomato tomato.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, even just using it for self motivation is a big thing, because sometimes that's a
Yeah.
big deal. Absolutely.
Well, it's nice seeing RB in there. He's the one so far, the first victim who's been there on time.
Jumping in on it. Hey, I know that especially there's a lot of moms and stuff out there too that probably get into that. They just
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know I have a lot of moms and parents and stuff in my community for sure. I would
Yeah.
love to probably work out with somebody, especially from home. That's the hard thing to do. It's almost like working
Yeah.
from home. It takes a certain amount of discipline.
And I might even change it up so that I do 3 workouts and then the DDR on every other day, just
Mhm.
because it seems like having people being able to interact might be more, beneficial for everybody too. And I'm trying to keep
It-
it as accessible as possible. No equipment needed, just full,
calisthenics and stuff.
calisthenics, just body weight and body workouts and different stretches and stuff.
It makes me wish that holograms were a thing, because I wish that I could honestly get a hologram of my old drill instructor and just pop him right up in my living room, And he's like, get on your knees, get on your legs, up and down, up and down, up and down, jumping jacks, mountain climbers, push-ups. No, you're not fast enough. Faster, faster, faster. I'm just like, ah!
Well, I mean,
Like,
with
what do you
VR,
want me
that's how it
to
is.
do? Oh man, that's good stuff. Great to bring back those memories, man. I would do it over again if I had a choice. I would.
Yeah.
I have no regrets joining the military. Zero. It changed me so much, man. I'm sure you probably feel the same way.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's an experience, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, tell us.
I was looking the opposite direction this whole time.
Tell us about your character, your Dark Death character that you play on stream with the eyes and the top hat and everything else. Tell us how you kind of came up with that, and right. Like, is there a story behind it, or give us some insight.
So the whole Dark Death evil thing comes from I'm really, before I got into like PC games, I was into JRPGs, and then that branched out into tactical JRPG games like, Final Fantasy Tactics. And then there was a game on PlayStation called Dissidia. And the company that did that game, because that's their most popular franchise, the Dissidia one.
Right.
I think they're like 6 now. They do. They had a whole bunch of other games too, like La Fusil Tactics, and then there was a game that they had on the PSP. That was called the Undying Ranger versus Dark Death Evil Man.
Huh.
And it's a game where the main hero is a character who accidentally runs over the Undying hero and kills him outside of battle or whatever. So his ghost sort of is haunting this average dude. And it's like, you are now the Undying Ranger, and you have to go save the time, baby. Like, it's completely ridiculous and great. And
sounds interesting for sure.
Yeah, the first battle of the game is like the old like first generation RPG battle where like there's not even sprites. It's just like like a little like whoosh,
yep.
type thing.
Yep.
And Dark Death Evil Man completely destroys you. And so you have to go through, level up in a bunch of, normal game format. And as the story progresses, you keep challenging him over and over again. And each time you challenge him, the graphics for the battle and the game system get a little bit better. But the Dark Death Evil Man always seemed like, he's like the big bad evil guy, sort of thing. So we always had a joke when I was growing up. Is like, me and my friends, like, I'm going to learn how to play drums, and the piano, and this, and we'll be the Dark Death Evil band. And,
cool.
We'll
I guess that never happened, huh?
And Dark Death Evil this, Dark Death Evil that. So, just when I started my YouTube channel, and I was going to be doing a lot of Diablo and a lot of other stuff, I'm like, well, Dark Death Evil channel, because that's what I was doing with everything else anyways.
That actually, now that you say that, it actually reminds me a lot of Diablo, like the eyes that you made and stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick, man.
So it's kind of, good and evil, they're all pretty subjective depending on, what the definition of what good is and what the definition of evil is, depending on how religious you are, how political you are. There's
very
lots
true.
Of, stories and theologies and stuff like that on what is good and what is evil. So in some eyes, you're the hero, and then in someone else's story, you're the villain. So
right.
The Dark Evil Man is someone who's out for himself and his friends and everyone that's near him and around him, and if the consequences of his actions to provide better quality of life for those that he feels are worthy negatively impacts other people, well, then that sucks for those people.
I know you're a big fan of Skyrim.
Yes.
Are you a big fan of any of other of Bethesda's games?
Yeah. I really like the Fallout series.
Yes.
I'd really like to get back into Fallout 76.
Same here.
It had a really terrible launch period,
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately for me, I happened to luck out and create a build right out from the get-go
Yeah.
that wasn't really affected by a lot of the nonsense that they had going on.
Mm-hmm. It's a very
Because
interesting game for sure. I
yeah.
think I played it in the launch and I haven't played it since. I'm sure they've changed it a bunch since then.
Oh, well, I mean, they added human NPCs now. I know that was like one of the biggest complaint people had about it is that there was no NPCs, but there was plenty of NPCs. They were all just robots. There were no like alive NPCs, and like some of the
Right.
voice acting for the quests and missions that you do were like really good, like almost what Ocean Blues DLC, you know,
Right.
good. Um,
You know what's funny is I think I played that game for about a week before I realized that it was kind of open world multiplayer.
right,
I was like, I was doing a mission and some guy just walked up to me and I was like, wait, how did you get into my game?
right,
It's pretty cool. It's kind of a cool concept. There's really nothing out there like that. And
right, and I like
it's almost like only when you're in the chunk with them, you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
pretty crazy.
And you know, it's definitely got some SBK potential too if we had people who wanted to play it. Just because you can buy your own sort of world so that only
Mhm.
your friends can jump in on it. You don't have to deal with.
Yeah, that'd be
Uh,
cool to have a server on there or something, and then if there's like modability or anything to increase the what's the word I'm thinking of? I don't even know. To just increase
event.
the RP
Oh yeah. Well, I
experience, I
mean,
guess.
you got they pretty much imported the town building aspect, so you can build your own bases and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
um, which I think is great. And there's a lot you can do with that. And then there's just a lot you can do to the world and to the map, which is awesome. I had a lot of fun with it. My guy, he's the build
God,
I went for.
these guys won't let up on you on this new SBK thing.
Right? Oh yeah. Well, SBK is bringing the people in. How do I feel? Oh, Todd, yeah, how do I feel being the newest member of SBK?
Right, and then JC Bailey comes in and hits you with it too.
It's I feel humbled and grateful to be a part of such a wonderful community.
Yeah, it's good
And
to have you. It's good to have you.
yeah, and I know I'm just starting out here with the community, but it's it's really nice, and I get a lot of warm welcomes.
It's gonna take time to get used to everything, man. I just heads up.
Yeah. But
Oh,
yeah, I would. So the problem with 76 at launch was that ranged weapons just didn't work. You'd shoot things, and if you did too much damage, it would rubber band their life back up to full.
oh yeah.
So it was really frustrating people because you couldn't level up, you couldn't kill things like
Mm-hmm.
you were supposed to. And especially if you got some crazy mods, then it was just even more frustrating.
That's
So, but I ran
unfortunate.
around on doing melee build, and I didn't use power armor. I have like essentially like a Tarzan loincloth on, a Raider sack hood over my face, and like a power fist.
So you're
And then
almost
you'll
like a
see my
caveman
guy.
assassin.
Yeah, and, well, not even assassin, just a psycho brute, just running through the wasteland, like one-shotting death claws, and they have the new big bad of 76, which is the what are they, the night wings or something like that. They're
Huh.
giant mutated bats that are kind of like dragons.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
and then you can trigger a world boss event with them too by going through a bunch of stuff to get nuke cards, and you can actually launch a nuke into an area of the map that will spawn like the queen.
Oh yeah.
And
You know, I feel like I remember something like that. I feel like I
yeah,
remember like because it'll warn you wherever you're at on the map that there's a nuke drop in here, and then you can go there and kill like a ton of zombies and stuff.
right.
I think I
And
remember something like that.
it was really challenging when the game came out. Like, if there weren't eight or 10 people on the server, like there's a good chance that you couldn't even bring it down.
Right.
But then you had me running around there, not even in power armor, just slamming myself full of rad X's to keep the radiation like in the perfect sweet spot. and I was hitting her so hard with my power fists that you could actually see her life chunk down. So
Your
yeah, that
some reason your camera's acting up a little bit.
oh, sorry, is that better?
Nope, you're frozen.
Oh, okay. I'm not frozen in Discord, so I don't know.
Oh. Do you want to know
Sure.
what Dark's? Oh, I do want to know what Dark's favorite DDR song is to play.
My favorite DDR song. My favorite DDR song is got to be. I don't know. It's kind of a tie. I have my three favorites, which are the Freckles, which is the theme song to like was my original favorite anime. Probably not my favorite anymore, but Rurouni Kenshin. And then I really like Sakura, which is just a really fast song.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one is Max 300, When I Can Beat It Again.
Nice.
Because it's a very satisfying, like when I get as good as I was back in the day and as light as I was back in the day to do Max 300 again, it's so fun. Nerds.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, we're closing in our half-hour time here. Go ahead and fill in the people. This is a spotlight for you. Fill in everybody with what your schedule's like, what kind of stuff you play, and what kind of content you provide to your viewers.
All right. Well, if you guys want to see extremely ridiculously overmodded gameplay for Skyrim, then this is your guy right here. And then if you want to see a very, very mediocre Minecraft player who overcompensates by building obscenely large structures with no detail, then also right here.
I totally thought you were talking about me. Because all I build's blocks. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and then in the mornings, like we talked about earlier, we got the Dark Death Evil workout. I'm trying to build that. I think I've got only 19 followers on there. I need 80 more to get level up so I can get to the all the cool features.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this year's just going to be all about growth and putting out more content. Going to start putting out YouTube videos. Going to try to do TikTok stuff.
Heck yeah, there you go.
The D&D thing that's coming out soon on SBK. Super excited about it. That's probably going to be one of my favorite things this entire year. So look forward to that. The next season of SBK. We got a lot of great story stuff for you. And yeah.
Yeah, SBK is going to be awesome, man. Just a couple more days. I'm so stoked.
I know, right?
I'm so
It's
stoked.
so weird. So weird. And it's great that we got so many people that are wanting to be a part of the community too. You know?
Heck yeah. All right, we got a couple questions in the chat. Tracy wants to know what your favorite build was from the pilot season.
My favorite build from the pilot season?
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite build that I did was the Piglin Crusher. The overworld Piglin spawner, where I created a bunch of portals to spawn Piglins in, and then had a really convoluted and unnecessary movements method to get them over to a crusher to get them for some good AFK XP and gold.
It's always good to just take a simple design and make it as complicated as your brain will let it.
Yeah.
I love doing stuff like that.
Everything.
I love doing stuff like that. And then the worst part is when you get done and it doesn't work how the mechanic says it should.
Right. Well, and it's always tricky with servers too, because servers don't always behave like your single player world.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true. Toast says, I want to know more about your keychain collection.
Oh, my keychain collection? You mean my fig pins? Yeah, it'd be more convenient if there were keychains. But let's see. Here's my boy. This isn't super great for the podcast part of it, but for everybody watching. So we've got Thanos here. This is a fig pin. We've got this entire bookcase full of fig pins.
Oh, wow. That's what those are, huh?
Yeah, and
That's crazy.
so here's one of them kind of out of the case. I got a new Batman that came in recently out of box.
Is it like
Um,
metal or is it?
yeah, they're metal, they're zinc, they're all that, and then they each have a unique serial code on the back of them that goes into an app, so you can actually track the stats, so you know what lot size, like how many of these were made, what
Oh
order
yeah.
he was put in, and what order you unlocked him in. So
Oh,
I've
that's
got
cool. Kind of keep track of your collection digitally too,
yeah.
huh?
They got AP fins, artist proof fins, and stuff like that. They used to do big ones. They just discontinued these ones last year. These are 6 inches. This is a pin that you can put on your backpack or something.
Wow, that's
It's
insane. That's
ridiculous.
huge.
Yeah. They just, to commemorate the retiring of the large fig pins, they came out with an XL fig pin logo. So
Man,
yeah, it's a weird little hobby that I got sucked into, and it's
how
also,
expensive are those things? Are they like around about the same as like pop vinyls or something?
some of them can be like my main super expensive collection is over on that wall. Let's see if I can. They're up there,
Oh yeah.
and a lot of the pins on that wall. Ooh, zoom. Um, some of them go. I don't have like the super high end one or like super expensive ones, but I think I could probably sell a few of those for $450, $500 a pin.
Woo!
I personally
Crazy.
won't spend more than $100 on a single pin just out of principle. So there's a couple grails that I've been looking out for that I still don't have, but
Mm-hmm.
that's because I'm stubborn.
I hear that. Well, guys, that is Mr. Dark Death Evil channel. Check him out,
Yeah.
guys. We got his link right here. We got his link in the description. If you're not following him, definitely go check him out. We've also got his link in the description on the podcast as well. So yeah, man, hope you guys had fun. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow with a podcast from Mr. Grateful Doom. But until then, guys, we'll see you later. Adios.
Thanks for having me.
Woohoo! Bebop, bebop. I wish I could do an R2D2 scream.
I think I had the Wilhelm scream on my soundboard a while ago.